Welcome to Morfanime. I'm your fan of more anime. How's everybody doing today? I'm a little tired. It's an early morning for me. I did drink my coffee though, luckily. The head's a little cloudy still, but it's waking up. The gears are turning, but I could not get on with my day until I got this review out there. Yesterday I just finished my next 25 chapters of the BLEACH series. If you did not know, if this is the first time you're seeing this series of videos, I am currently going through the BLEACH manga right now for the very first time. So this is my impression of these 25 chapters, 151 to 175. These 25 chapters, by the way, were amazing and have set up so many things going forward. I cannot believe how good these last 50 chapters really have been. Like, I really adored the 25 previous chapters, mostly because my favorite character, as you guys might know if you've been on this journey with me, God, I'm going to be so mad that I can't remember his name right now. I'm telling you right now, I'm just tired. Kenny. Yeah, Kenny, my boy, Kenny. Kenpachi. Sorry, I'm still learning names here. I actually had to write down a few names on my phone because these names aren't easy. They're not all Chad. Luckily, I do have the main ones down. It's just there's a lot of new characters. That's one thing that I might say is a downfall of this whole arc. This what's it called? The Spirit World arc. The Soul Society arc. That's my biggest downfall, is the author introduced so many characters all at once. It's hard to really get to know them all. You get little tidbits of them. There are a few exceptions like Kenpachi and Renji who have truly shined, but there's so many badass characters that the author has. I think his name is Kubo. I'll get that down too one day. Has jammed into this arc. I'm really enjoying this arc. I hope it's not peak BLEACH. I hope it keeps rising, because so far throughout the series, honestly, it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. It did have a slow start, but it was building these characters, giving us a foundation, and now we are on top of it. But he also waited and saved all these badass characters for right now, and I am trying to juggle them all. I don't know who's important. I do hope in a lot of ways some of them die. I'm a big fan of deaths in anime, especially if they're emotionally impactful. I don't want them for no particular reason. There was actually a cray-cray death in these 25 chapters, in the 151 to 175, which I'm reviewing right now. A girl named Momo was murdered in cold blood in these 25 chapters, and I truly felt bad for her, even though I haven't had a chance to spend a lot of time with her. I hope she's actually dead, because she looked pretty dead. But I am jumping ahead here. We do get to see Byakuya and Ichigo actually finish their fight within these 25 chapters, which was surprising to me, because I did expect this fight to be like the Goku-Frieza fight, or, like the big main event. We have been building to Byakuya versus Ichigo since he showed up to get Rukia for this execution. We've been building this up for a long time, like 75 chapters. And one thing I love about BLEACH so far is that he's so good. The author is so good at telling the story without words. He's so good at drawing. He's a very good artist. The paneling is amazing. It's so, when I read it, it's like butter. It's like cutting butter with a knife. You're just, I fly through chapters, maybe because there's less dialogue to digest, but I feel like I take in so much of the story just through the images that he has drawn. Very good. One of the best that I've read, honestly. I really suggest people that have not given Bleach a chance, that like Naruto or One Piece and haven't given Bleach a chance, like I didn't. I didn't give Bleach a chance because of people's opinions, their preconceived opinions about it. If people had been raving about it, like they do with One Piece and Naruto, the fans stand behind it. The Bleach fans, maybe they're just more quiet, or maybe I've just been ignoring them. Bleach is actually a solid series. I'm not done with it yet. I don't think I'm even close. I'm under 200 chapters. There's almost 700. So I'm not going to say where it ranks for me on my anime tier list just yet, but damn is it good. I would honestly say so far I'm liking it as much as I liked Yu Yu Hakusho back in the day. It gives me those vibes, but it also gives me the Hunter x Hunter vibes, and then this last 25 chapters actually made me think a lot of Inuyasha. The way Ichigo's fighting now. He's got a new Bankai version of his sword, his Zanpakuto, and it's really dope. It gets smaller. For the longest time, he's been running around with that anime giant Zabuza sword, which is cool, and I actually really appreciate the second version of it better than the first version. But man, his new attack with his smaller, sleeker black blade, which really gave me Zoro vibes. I am in the middle, almost done with the One Piece manga. I'm almost up to date there, and recently I read the Dressrosa arc a few weeks back, and you know, Zoro's starting to make his sword black with armament hockey, so when his sword became a black blade, I was like, oh my god, Ichigo unlocked armament hockey! Well, it's not that, though. But he has an ability now where he can slice the air and blast and like a spirit energy wave out of his sword. He did it before when he was training with Hat and Clogs, and it reminded me of Inuyasha. It made me think of the Wind Scar, if you ever watch Inuyasha, and I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. I hope he gets other abilities other than that, other just hacking through or sending a slash through the air, because he needs something to set him apart from the other characters from other anime. He feels like an amalgamation of a bunch of different characters that I've watched, that I'm grabbing from other animes, but he needs something unique about him. He does have that Yu Yu Hakusho, Yusuke vibe, and I really appreciate that. I mentioned that in my last video. I mentioned that he's not necessarily a dumbass. He's headstrong, he's hard-headed sometimes, but he's pretty smart when it comes to battle, when it comes to day-to-day life. So I appreciate that. That sets him apart. But I have seen that before with Yusuke Urameshi. So he needs something in his fighting style and his personality that really makes him his own MC. That when I watch future series, I go, wow, that character reminds me of Ichigo, not Yusuke. That's what I want to see going forward. But his battle with Byakuya was really cool, and I'm really starting to like Byakuya's fighting style with the pedals. And actually, he really reminded me of a like Gaara type opponent for Ichigo, because he had these pedals that protected him, and or sand. I don't know, like kind of how Gaara uses his sand. It seemed to me like he didn't necessarily want to get into a hand-to-hand combat situation unless absolutely necessary. He basically had his blade turn into these pedals, and he manipulated them, and he's been doing that since he showed us his abilities. But he also showed us his like last resort attack thingy. He's pretty strong, but I was very surprised that Ichigo was able to beat him without suffering more damage than he did, just because of how well they've built up Byakuga's abilities and how badass he is. But they do kind of explain why Ichigo's able to get so strong so fast, which I appreciate. Something's going on with him and being part hollow. It's still somewhat of a mystery. The new villain of the series explained it as hollowification, and it's still unclear. But at some point during Ichigo's fight with Byakuya, he goes half hollow. His face summons that hollow mask, and he basically becomes a different person. Very Gemini-ness of him, which kind of sets him apart. But I've also seen characters with an evil demon within them. You know, he's got the fox spirit, if you're a Naruto fan. And that actually reminded me of... Yeah, you know what? Byakuya does kind of remind me of Neji from Naruto as well. He's very superior and whatnot, and he has certain views that he will not change, but by the end of the fight, he, agrees with the MC. The MC changes his heart a bit. He has that regalness that Neji kind of had, that cockiness, yet stoic attitude. And he did change his mind. The MC changed his mind. And I will predict that this Byakuya guy is going to be a valuable, good guy going forward. I do not expect him to be another opponent for Ichigo down the line. He seems to have changed, and now he's going to have some kind of redemption arc. That's just me guessing. Ichigo does win, but he doesn't use the holification thing. He does get one strike in from it, but he rips the mask off. Good. I was glad that he didn't have to use this power that he has no control over to win. It would seem like a cop-out. It would seem like he didn't win on his own, and he really did, in the end, win on his own. It came down to the wire, though, and Ichigo found a way to win, but he could still stand. He just kept getting up. His determination, his resolve was better than Byakuya. He might not have been as skilled, but he had he would not give up. He just would keep getting up. Later on in this 25 chapters, he literally almost gets cut in half, and he keeps trying to get up. That's how badass Ichigo is. I'm really liking the dude. I am sad that Kenpachi doesn't get to have a major battle during these 25 chapters, but he did have a big battle in the last 25 chapters, so I will push that aside. But I am one of those fans that if my favorite character is tossed aside and becomes a jobber or becomes a sideline guy, kind of like Tien did in Dragon Ball, who was my favorite character from that series, it frustrates me, and it does bring the anime down for me, even though it shouldn't, because he's not the main character. But Kenpachi, I want to see more of the guy, and I feel like we will, because he did mention that he wants to unlock his Zanpakuto, but I hopefully it's badass, because I don't think he needs it. He's so strong. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need Zanpakuto. He's just sheer hard work, and I appreciate those kinds of characters. So, the big elephant in the room for these 25 chapters is the reveal that, what's his damn name? Aizen, the captain that was murdered maybe 50 chapters ago, murdered and like splayed up on a wall with blood coming down, not actually dead, not even close. Turns out he is evil, very, very evil. I don't know his exact plan yet, so maybe he does have a backstory that makes it so he's not as evil as you think. Maybe he is trying to stop this soul society because it's inherently evil, and there's something wrong about it that I just don't know about yet. There definitely seems to be something wrong with the hierarchy. There's no reason why these other Soul Reapers, so many Soul Reapers within a short period of time turned on the Soul Society for Rukia because they knew it was wrong. I don't think they would have done that if there wasn't past experiences with things going wrong in this society, this world they live in. So, we'll find out later going on. But the fact that this Aizen guy is the mastermind behind this is pretty dope. I didn't feel like there was any reason for me to assume that, though, at all. Maybe down below in the comments, if there was something in the manga before Aizen's reveal that would have told me that he was the villain, or at least hinted at it, it would have made me more shocked and more excited. But I was shocked, for sure. Because I thought Jin, however you say it, the guy that has the eyes, he's like, he's always smiling. That guy, he's scary. He's got the Brock eyes from Pokemon. He is scary, and I thought he was the main villain. We still haven't really got to see him fight yet. He must be powerful if he's working for this dude. The blind guy that fought Kenpachi, he turned out to be a bad guy, and after all his justice type conversation where he was telling Kenpachi how much of a piece of crap he was for being so ruthless, turns out he's a villain. There's got to be a reason for it, because he seemed pretty like justice when he fought Kenpachi. Like he wanted to bring Kenpachi down for being a ruthless killer. But now this dude's on Aizen's side. Gin shows up, Gin shows up and does reveal that he's the lieutenant for Aizen, and they actually kill Momo. And I mentioned that earlier, and that was just rough, because she loved Aizen as a captain. She worshipped this guy. She turned against Toshiro, I think his name is, the Ice Kid, who also has a really badass moment in this arc. He Bankais, I think it was his Bankai. He summons his giant ice dragon. There's these giant ice flower things behind him, and my only problem with it is he's about to fight, and he's like, I'm gonna kill you, because he's so mad that Momo's dead. But in a blink of an eye, Aizen beats the guy. I think it was because we find out later that Aizen has this like Zanpakuto that makes people hallucinate. And I think he made him hallucinate for a second, and he used his superior speed to win. It was very unclear. Our poor boy Toshi doesn't get to do a whole lot, but God, is he cool. I would say he's not my favorite ice user, but there's still so much more to learn about the kid. But I would put him really close, like maybe below Haku on my list. My number one is Aokiji from the One Piece series. But man, this kid Toshi has some potential. Who doesn't love an ice dragon sword? Because that was cool. That would make a cool tattoo if you're a big fan of this kid. He gets taken down, couldn't save Momo's life. He actually gets tricked by one of Aizen's little minions. He like manipulates this kid that has a sword that causes other objects that it hits to increase in weight. He actually fights, I think her name is Renkaku, the girl with the fan servicey chest who follows Toshi. They fight, and he starts hitting her Zanpakuto, and it slowly makes it gain weight, which I thought was a really cool strategy. I hope I hope this kid becomes more used in the future. He does seem like he wants redemption. He didn't want to be manipulated. He was very sad that Momo was killed. He was a good friend with Momo, and he's a good friend with Renji. There's something going on there. I hope he doesn't just get thrown in prison for being part of this, I don't know what you'd call it, a coup. But his sword's all bent, and he slashes at Rengaku's sword, but then she ends up like turning her blade into dust, so it didn't really matter. So it does kind of kill his ability. He did lose, but he made her sword heavy, so she could barely lift it. But for some reason, I think her Bankai turned her sword into dust, very similar to how Byakuya turns his into like blade pieces. Rengaku actually got a few cool moments in this, backing up Toshi, but Toshi, he's the leader of that pair. So yeah, Gin doesn't really get to do a whole lot. He does reveal that he is a villain, though. I was kind of hoping that he would reveal that he was actually good the whole time because of how evil he was acting. Or he was maybe investigating Aizen. Maybe he was the only one that knew somehow. But it was also revealed that Aizen he put everybody under a spell with his Zanpakuto. Basically, once they saw his Zanpakuto's ability, he was able to manipulate them all. He made the sword into a fake dead body of himself using this ability, which was pretty impressive. It seems like an OP ability, and it also seems like this Aizen guy is just generally OP without his Zanpakuto, without his ability to manipulate people and basically control them with this blade. Not necessarily control them, but give them thoughts, lead them to do things that he wants them to do. without that blade, he was still able to catch Ichigo's sword midair as he was swinging it at him while he was fighting Renji at the same time. There actually is an amazing moment where Renji and Ichigo are like, all right, we're going to team up and fight this guy together, and we're going to find an opening. We're not going to be able to win. He's too strong. And they realize that early. I know that as a reader. There's no way they're beating this guy here and now unless the series is going to be over in 200 chapters. And I know it's not. And I love that they admit that. And so there's a cool scene, and it's like Renji and Ichigo side by side, and it's like, I guess we're working together now. That was cool. Gave me the Vegeta Goku vibes, the rivals working together. Hell yeah. They're not just throwing Renji aside like they did with Chad or Hime, Yuryu, who are completely sidelined for these entire 25 chapters. They kind of been sidelined for the last 50 chapters, maybe more. I feel bad for Chad. I like Chad. I really hope Chad gets a moment down the line. He's not as cool as Kenny, but I like Chad. Chad's a cool fella. And Yuryu gave up his abilities, so he might just be done as it is. Or Hime is just a lovesick puppy waiting for Ichigo to save the day. I feel bad for these three completely. I don't know if they're going to be more than just cheerleaders for Ichigo going forward. Hopefully not, because I hate when that happens in Shonen. Well, yes, Renji and Ichigo work together, but their abilities don't even stand a chance against Aizen. Aizen, like I said, catches Ichigo's blade while Renji does this badass technique where his broken blade, his what's it called? His monkey blade thing, all the broken pieces come up and they're surrounding Aizen. Gin knows how good Aizen is. The blind dude knows how good Aizen is to the point where they stayed back the entire time and didn't interfere, even though Ichigo showed up and saved Renji and Rukia. I did feel bad for Renji, though, just to go back for a quick second. During the fight with Byakuya, before the coup was revealed, Renji spent the entire time, those 25 chapters, mostly 20 of them, running away with, it was his job to get Rukia out of there. He spent 20 chapters or whatever, running away with Rukia in his arms, and it was really cool and noble. But then, just to have himself teleported away by the blind guy, back to the spot that they ran away from. So it was just all for naught. He's probably exhausted. He ran with somebody in his arms. It was cool that Rukia has these two guys, Renji and Ichigo, at her side. But I want to see Rukia do some shit, you know? It feels like we did find out why she's lost all her powers, in a way. Because of Kisuke. I think his name is Kisuke. The Cat and Clogs guy put her in a bad fake body, one of those fake body things, and actually implanted something in that body, but it makes her into a human. He was basically turning Rukia into a human without her consent. He was kind of planning this the entire time. Kisuke gets revealed to be this crazy mastermind, but not in the way I was hoping. I was really hoping that Hat and Clogs would somehow become the leader of this faction of bad guys and show up right then and there and be like, oh, by the way, I've been manipulating Ichigo and you, Rukia, the entire time. I needed you to get strong so we can do the A, B, and C. That's not what happened. He's actually like a really smart dude that was experimenting with some things, and he decided to hide it because it was too dangerous. He made something very bad. I don't 100% understand it just yet. Maybe you could comment down below and explain it to me in dumb people terms, because that's what I am. I couldn't figure it out exactly, but my thought is that he put this key to this thing, into this Rukia body that he let her use. And that's what we learned. He definitely has some secrets that he hasn't been telling Ichigo. So Rukia is very important to this whole situation. I'm assuming she doesn't necessarily need to die, though, to get the item that Aizen needs. We'll see. I do kind of hope, unless they plan on making Rukia a main fighter or something down the line, a main person that can actually defend herself, I kind of hope she does die. I kind of hope she loses her life in a noble way, saving Ichigo and Renji and helping them get away, so they can come back stronger than ever with something to fight for, and to go against this faction of the bad guys. That could be a great thing that we can do for the next 200 chapters. And in Rukia's memory, we can move forward with the story, because she's kind of just been an object to save this entire time. Hopefully that's not the case, and hopefully we'll get her going forward as a BLEACH, like the rest of these Soul Reapers. And I want to see what she was like before she lost her powers. We really didn't get to see a whole lot of that in the beginning. Yeah. There's one more fight, I believe. 2 more fights I haven't brought up, and I'll just try and review those real quick. Yamamoto, the old Soul Reaper dude, he took on 2 Soul Reapers that were trying to interfere with the execution. 2 badass Soul Reapers. That hippie-like guy, the white-haired guy that I believe was Rukia's captain. These 2 dudes took on Yamamoto at the same time and couldn't take this old man down. This old man has some kind of incinerative, flaming sword, which was so awesome. Kinemon from One Piece, eat your heart out, because this dude's flaming Zanpakuto was way more badass. I'm a big fan of really cool old men anime characters like Master Roshi, Rayleigh. I don't know if you can say that Aizawa from My Hero Academia would be considered in that, because he's not an old man. He's older than most of the characters as the main characters, but he's not necessarily an old man like Gran Torino is. But this old man here, Yamamoto, was awesome. He gave me some vibes of, what's his name? The kid from Hunter x Hunter's grandpa. He was dope as well. It gave me those kind of vibes. The old man that fought the king of the ants in Hunter x Hunter gave me those vibes. But this guy, I wasn't sure if he was part of this coup as well. I don't think he is, because he was trying to stop, but he was fighting the wrong people. These were his pupils, these 2 kids who have these badass Zanpakutos that involve 2 blades. I'm still learning the names of these 2 characters. One of them's the one that captured Chad peacefully, and the other, I believe, was Rukia's captain, that also was involved in the death of the Shiba guy. That was Rukia's lieutenant captain dude that died, that looks like Ichigo. I'm getting it. You see, I'm putting the pieces together here. It's all coming together. And finally, I believe this to be my favorite fight in these 25 chapters, which was actually longer than I thought it would be. It was the cat lady that turned out to be one of the coolest female characters I've seen in anime, in manga. I haven't watched the anime, so I can't say that, but really cool in the manga. That's one thing. Like I said, the art in this book, in this series, in these mangas are superb. Some of the fight scenes are like you're watching the anime. It moves almost when you're looking at it. Every page is so well drawn, and especially in these high speed moments. He represents speed during these fights so well. I know what's going on. I know the characters are moving at high speeds. She ends up taking on her former student, who is also really cool, who kind of took her job after she left 100 years ago with Kisuke. And they go at it in a really good fight. This lady is in charge of like this assassination squad, and she summons all these ninjas, and they fight her. And she goes into this like super speed mode where her spirit energy is like blowing out of her back, so her top explodes off, and she's sitting there like all on her. I think she's on all 4s. I don't know, but she's like super speeding, killing them all. She ends up winning the fight, even though this girl has this like hornet thing. Is that her Zanpakuto, the little finger spear, where she comes up and starts stabbing the cat lady with her little finger spear, and she has to hit it twice to win. But yeah, the cat lady kicks ass, takes names, kicks ass. I'm telling you right now, this girl is awesome. Currently, if I was going to rank her, I definitely would say that she's not above Android 18 to me, and she's not above Nico Robin for me. But she's in that scale. I really hope this cat lady becomes very important going forward. She's also a big mentor for Ichigo. So there could be a sad death with her in the future as well, where she defends everybody. She was awesome. And her having that energy explode out of her was just unbelievable. This video has gone on for too long. These last 25 chapters have really shown me how good peak Bleach can be. Maybe it's going to keep rising. I hope it does, but they kind of need a little bit of a slowdown arc at this point. They're in the middle. They just finished this Byakuya thing that they've been building up for 50 chapters minimum, 75 probably. I think it started at chapter 75 actually, and now we're at 175. It might have been 100 chapters. They built this up. And now it's over. We are moving on to something else. The Soul Reaper arc, in my opinion, is over. And the last chapter of these 25 arcs shows the wolf guy show up. The Soul Reaper with the wolf head shows up behind Aizen, and he says, "Aizen!" And he's like raising his Zanpakuto. I hope that he's not with Aizen as well. I hope he was tricked by the blind guy as well, because they seem like friends. Might have something going on there, but I hope that he's going to be the reason the crew gets away. We get a little bit of a, I don't know, an intermission arc, so we can figure out what Aizen's plan is. We need to set something up. Maybe we need to go to a different setting. We've been in the Soul Society for a while now. We need a new battlefield. We need more goals. We need to know what Aizen's goals are. I need to know them. I need to digest them. This is Morfanime. What'd you think of this review? Please subscribe, and please click the link down below to buy yourself a Morfanime t-shirt. Become a Morfanimaniac. Thank you all. I'll talk to you later.